Welcome to Sat Chats Rehash, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about chatting about sats. I'm your host, Stuart, Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses for all the reasons you already know.
And I'm your co-host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, proud multi-coiner and Bitcoin smash buyer. Please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. There is nothing you could do to support the channel more than just hit the subscribe button. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be picking one lucky fan, one lucky YouTube subscriber, and we'll be giving away 1 million sats to that person. Plus, we'll start a live show Friday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Do not be subscriber number 1001. Today, we're going over episodes 20, 21, and 22. We're going to cover their themes so you can figure out whether you want to go back and watch them yourself. We're going to go over some key takeaways that will help you make that decision as well. We're going to clean up our side of the street with any inaccuracies or mistakes, and then we'll handle all the interesting conversational threads that we left open across all three episodes at the end. So let's jump in with number 20, Andy. Okay, so Andy is my good buddy, and I love him to death.
Yeah.
He is the new breed of American businessman, that's my shorthand for him, which doesn't even start to describe his actual potential. But the theme for Andy's show here was his journey from crypto and really from Bitcoin through crypto, through NFT, and back to Bitcoin, along with a little bit on how he could improve his international business dealings by paying his suppliers directly with Bitcoin instead of going through all the chicanery of US banks to Chinese banks to a little bit of, everybody taking their piece off the top to finally get it to that person.
Before you can stay humble and stack sats, you got to get humble first. And Andy got humbled. I'm sorry, Andy. I love that guy too. And I think my favorite part about his episode was talking about the international trade that he does. And he and I went back and forth a little bit on just how that might actually play out in the future and what's happening right now.
Yeah. You guys vibed on that business aspect.
Yeah.
So 3 key takeaways from Andy's episode. Number 1, Bitcoin is real money. Number 2, learn from Andy's mistakes.
Humble yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we just want you satillionaires to skip over that part, right? Because Andy got into Bitcoin around like 2017 or something. I mean, he got himself a nice, clean exchange rate. But then he gave that up and took it into crypto where it became a loss. And he took what he had left and got into NFT where it really went down to nothing. So then he's just got to come on back to Bitcoin and stack sats like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Last takeaway was the business potential, right? And it was super interesting to say, hey, man, I mean, could you differentiate your business among the suppliers by saying, I'll pay you in Bitcoin and you'll get the full amount that you're owed in 10 minutes with no intermediaries, no slices off the top, nothing. So some inaccuracies and mistakes. Teddy Roosevelt and Executive Order 6102, aka number 33 Jameson's 6102 attack.
We are under attack.
So Andy actually said that Teddy Roosevelt is his favorite president. I thought it was FDR. It's Teddy. And Teddy, I like Teddy too. I tied the 6102 attack, which was the gold confiscation order, to Teddy, when in fact it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who I believe was Teddy's nephew.
Yeah.
Or Teddy's younger cousin?
Yeah, they weren't brothers. It was not a father-son. So
it was it was like one over and one down, maybe, right?
Yes.
So to set the record straight, Andy's favorite president is Teddy Roosevelt, not FDR, which I know is something I mentioned in another episode later. And also, it wasn't Teddy who did the 6102 order. It was FDR.
Yep.
Okay, so we also had a moment where I asserted that the Canadian Pavilion is the best pavilion at Epcot.
Yeah.
And here's what Chappie says.
I agree with Chappie.
Chappie says, Stuart says the Canada Pavilion is the best, quote unquote, guaranteed, and will fight people who say Japan is better.
Yeah.
While hilarious and passionate, this is subjective. Japan often tops rankings due to its food and immersive design. So
you can't get dumplings in freaking Canada.
Dude. All right. So real quick, if you watch the show, you'll see that Andy actually hits me with a deep cut. I'm over here trying to be real street cred with my love of the Canadian Pavilion. And Andy doesn't even care about the Japanese pavilion. He hops over to the Norwegian pavilion. Then he takes it back in time when the Frozen ride was actually Maelstrom. And he hit me with the deep, deep cut. And it was so deep that I had to just kind of like take the blow and keep rolling with the show, because my Disney style is like, I love Disney. So I love that Andy hit me with the deep cut because he loves Disney as well. But just to set the record straight, Chappie is wrong. Okay. It is not subjective which pavilion is the best. The correct pavilion is the Canadian Pavilion. Okay. It's huge compared to the other pavilions that only get a small slice. Okay. It also beautifully blends this like First Peoples, Native American, American Indian totem pole type Pacific Northwest lodge timber with more of the Montreal, Quebec, old French style architecture. Beautiful English garden around the back. Has Le Cellier, which is like the top restaurant at Epcot. Their beef bourguignon poutine is one of the tastiest things I've ever had. Like, stop playing, okay? You guys don't know what you're talking about. It is the Canadian Pavilion, and I will literally fight anybody who says different.
How many times have you been to Disney?
So I went once or twice as a kid and had some really great memories there. And then I went as like in my mid 20s. And I paired it with a biography of Walt Disney, and like his creative vision and his like love for park guests, it lit me on fire. And when I turned 30 in 2015, we went for my 30th birthday and we stayed at the Wilderness Lodge and with our kids. My son was 2.5.
Yeah.
Kitty was 6 months old.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah.
They got me over.
Yeah.
And since then, we have gone back many times. We've joined the Disney Vacation Club.
Yeah.
Where I've got 50 years worth of holidays already lined up. So since age 30, and I'm almost 40 now, I would say 2 to 3 times per year.
Holy cow.
So I've racked up probably 30 trips to the Magic Kingdom over the past decade, and probably more because I also found ways to get cybersecurity conferences down there. Oh, so yeah, wow. I'm way up in it.
Okay.
Way up in it. So yeah, it's the Canadian Pavilion. Stop playing.
All right. I trust you.
All right. And then let's go from there to
number 21, Dima. Okay. So the theme of Dima's episode was Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and an accessible savings tool for everyday people. And I love that concept right there. Like, my heart breaks for people who earn fiat and keep fiat, and maybe they're paycheck to paycheck, and they just there's no way out.
That's it.
There's no way out.
Trapped.
What are you going to do? The only thing you can do is figure out, it's little bits, little discipline, and you got to do something with that cash. You got to convert it into an asset of some sort. We recommend Bitcoin.
Highly recommend.
But even if it's not Bitcoin, you got to figure out a way to take $10, $20, $50, $100 per paycheck and just buy some asset with it, and an asset that appreciates in value over time. Because otherwise, savings dead. A savings account's not going to do anything for you. So
saving in nation state paper is dead.
Yes,
right. Saving in Bitcoin is alive.
It's hot. Right? That's where you should be.
Yeah.
If someone were asking me one-on-one that question, which someone asked me about that yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what I told them.
It's kind of like the Middle Ages where they say the king is dead, long live the king. Nation state paper savings is dead, long live Bitcoin savings.
The new king.
And she was the beauty influencer, by the way. And I would love if she could become Dima Noxzema. I'm just going to say that.
Whoa.
Know what I mean?
Noxzema, hit us
Not
up.
that she had any. Her skin was wonderful,
yeah.
but
yeah,
it rhymes and I like it.
Yeah.
That's like a 90s product, by the way. Noxzema. Remember that, dude?
Yeah.
Some Noxzema.
Yeah. Great TV ads, I think. I mean, memorable.
Are you thinking about Zima?
No.
Okay. Because there was also Zima.
No, the face cream.
Yeah.
Zima. Yeah. I got you. All right. Three takeaways. 1, inflation is invisible theft.
Oof.
Okay. 2, Bitcoin is fixed and undilutable.
Yep.
And 3, anyone can start small.
Yeah.
Anyone can start small.
That kind of goes right back to what you were saying.
That's the great thing about Bitcoin. You can buy up, $5 worth of Bitcoin. You don't have to set up. Well, you do have to do a little legwork to get it set up.
Yeah, but if you want to start on Coinbase, for example, it couldn't be easier.
Or Cash App.
Cash App, Strike, I think too. Jack Mallers.
Yeah.
We like that guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
The undilutable aspect of Bitcoin, you can remember as a beauty influencer, we used the analogy of a beauty serum.
Yeah.
And half of the serum comes out thanks to the gouvernement, and they put just a neutral solution back in there. And what happens? Well, you need twice as much beauty serum to get the same effects on your skin. So kind of like, number 40 Anna Bevan's episode with the wine analogy, where it's being siphoned off, diluted, replaced. It was kind of the similar analogy, and with Bitcoin is the world's strongest beauty serum.
It's a recurring theme on Sat Chats. It will always be a recurring theme on Sat Chats. Inflation is invisible theft.
Heard, chef.
It's slow motion theft. It's the phantom tax. It's the slow, silent killer. I mean, we print money. We go pay for things that we can't afford. The government is just like totally unleashed to do whatever they see fit, whatever they want. And what happens to the dollars that we hold? They go down in value without us even realizing it. It's disgusting.
How dare you devalue my hard work?
It's horrible.
How dare you dilute my share of the network without my consent?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
That's not okay.
No.
That's not okay.
No. All right. Let's talk about the mistakes and inaccuracies reported to us by Chappie. There was only one, okay?
And this is one that I've messed up several times before we started doing the rehashes in order for me to fix it. So we're going to have to clean it up
that's why
a couple of times, dude.
No, it's okay. That's why we do these. We got to keep our side of the street clean. So we've talked about how much money the U.S. has printed multiple times. And it looks like on Dima's episode, the claim was that the U.S. has printed twice as much money during the pandemic between 2020 and 2022. False.
Okay. I guess.
Okay. The U.S. money supply, specifically M2.
M2, bro. Okay. So here's where it starts to break down, but keep going.
Increased by roughly 40%, not 100%. Oh, right. I'm sorry. Just 40?
Oh, dude.
Just 40%?
Yeah.
Never mind. No big deal.
You know what? Okay. Yeah. I don't mind 4 out of every $10 I've made becoming just worthless pieces of paper. That's fine. You know what I mean? Gosh.
Okay.
So here's what I'll say about that. For whatever reason, when I was trying to work through some of these things on my own before starting this show, I was on a website called somethingorother.com.
Literally?
No.
Okay.
But it was like US debt clock.com or something.
Okay.
I think if you Google US debt clock, I think it'll come up.
Okay.
And it has all these metrics. Here's our debt. Here's our spending. It's wild to look at all these numbers going up in real time. It's like, it shows you the money printing. It's like, and the number of US dollars is like, zzz. So when I was trying to figure out, like, I guess I think I was trying to do the exercise of valuing my home by determining how much it had appreciated and then subtracting the money supply increase to get the real percentage. So it's like, hey, my home has been going up 8% per year, but money has been going up 5% per year. So my house has only been going up 3%.
Okay. Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I think I used that and looked at a $10 trillion number before the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, it was 20 trillion. I don't know how I found that, but it led me to believe that the US had printed 100% more money.
Well,
and that's where I got that from. Here it's saying M2 was increased by 40%, but you and I have already looked at M0, M1, M2, and the impossible M3, where it can't even be calculated. So officially a 40% increase. Okay, we'll give it to you. But does anybody really have a grip on how many additional dollars have appeared?
No. And to be fair, exactly. Chappie is talking about specifically M2. And when you start to dive into monetary policy, the reporting angle of how all that happens, and you try to get your arms around what's M1, M2, M0, M3 used to, it's so convoluted. It's like a shell game, to be honest with you. And so
it feels icky.
It does. I mean, it is.
Yeah,
it is. What's the goal here?
Yeah.
What's the real goal? Anyway.
And by the way, Dima's episode was a kind of a heavy lift because she didn't know anything about Bitcoin. And I was really happy that we could work with her to the point where she was at least open to the concept of starting small with her first sats.
Here's a really interesting concept, though. So the facts that Chappie is reporting to us right now are that between 2020 and 2022, the U.S. increased the money supply by 40%.
Mm-hmm.
What rate of inflation was reported during that period of time? 40%? No.
Nah.
No way. I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody can comment in the comments below, but I guarantee you we didn't say, oh, it's 40% inflation over these 2 years.
Nah.
No. So what does that tell you? They report whatever the hell they want.
Whatever.
And they increase the money supply by whatever they see fit.
Yeah.
Enough. Buy some Bitcoin.
Enough.
Buy some Bitcoin and get out of this.
That's enough.
Like Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank. Stop the madness. This is madness.
Yeah.
All right.
It's enraging if you think about it.
Let's hit Renee.
Renee. All right. So then up next was number 22, Renee. I loved this one because number 11, Aisha recommended number 22, Renee. And one of the things that we're trying to do with this show is allow anyone to come on the show. Come on the show. The same way anyone can buy Bitcoin, anyone can come on this show. And I love that one of our guests recommended someone else. And we would love if our guests recommend more people. And we would love if our Satillionaires hit satchats.com and come on the show like the first Satillionaire, Lou Cola. He did it. You can do it.
Yeah.
So the theme for Renee's episode was Bitcoin as a tool for freedom, for adventure, for long-term empowerment, especially for global creative types. He was an artist and a creator, just like Aisha. He lives his life in a little bit more of a nomadic or kind of skimming along the top, not really putting down roots. Because that's what he as an artist, he just wants like newness. He wants stimulation, not me. Forget about it. I want Groundhog Day. But this guy wants like, and Bitcoin allows him to just kind of take himself and his money wherever he goes, right? Mm-hmm. So 3 takeaways from Renee. Try it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, just try it.
And he said that a couple of times. He's like, guys, don't be afraid. Just go buy $50.
Yeah.
Like, don't be scared.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And I loved his message there. He also talked about Bitcoin changing your mindset and global equality through decentralized money.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a moment where Renee helped me to realize, just like when I went to the Gold Bug and he showed me that the value of the silver coin and the value of the candy bar had not changed over 60 years. It was the currency in between. Mm-hmm. Renee showed me that the value of my labor harvesting rice in America is the same as someone harvesting rice in Central America or Asia. The physical act of pulling rice out of the ground that's ready to eat in universal terms has the same value. But, and I think you said this on an episode recently, they're not earning the same amount simply because they've got a different currency that's valued at different rates, and you have all this interplay between nation states, etc. Now, to an extent, you got to layer in the fact that some nations are more productive than others. Some nations have more breakthrough than others. Some nations add more value than others. So to an extent, their currency is more valuable. But just in like a first principles way, the human act of harvesting food is the same worldwide.
Yeah.
And his point was, hey, if everyone could get paid in Bitcoin, you might have a scenario where everyone's work is valued according to its actual value, which was kind of mind-blowing for me.
Yeah.
Did we have any inaccuracies or mistakes? Not really. Chappie had a couple of things to say about the exchange rate of Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. But she checks that against today's exchange rates, which are not the same as the exchange rates from when we did the episode. So there wasn't anything of consequence to correct from his episode. Because she'll be like, oh, well, you said Bitcoin was 90K, but it's 84K. It's like, I get it, chaps.
Yeah, it changes.
It's just because we did it earlier in time.
Yeah.
So we've got two conversational threads that we want to unpack here. Mm-hmm. The first was from Andy's episode. Will Andy pitch Bitcoin to his business partner, John? And will Andy onboard any suppliers with Bitcoin payments? Right? So what we want to know when he comes back on in 9 months is he still operating 100p on fiat through his restaurant supply company? Or has he gotten his business partner to see the value of Bitcoin? Do they hold any Bitcoin? Or at the very least, are they transacting internationally with Bitcoin? What do you think Andy's going to do? You think he's going to dip his toe in, or you think he's going to keep his head down and just, I didn't have any time, I got to keep grinding away on my business?
I think he will probably have made a start, but I don't know how far he's going to get in 9 months. Mm-hmm. If inflation was worse than it is right now, I would say he would have made more progress. Mm-hmm. It depends on inflation. I think he'll do something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much, though.
I think that he will not get anything done between now and then. Because as someone who has started a business, and the one that we've started here together, we're so slammed. We ain't got time for nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So he might think about it. He might have good intentions. I think the pain needs to be greater.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be in more pain, which is kind of what you said.
I agree.
But hit him in the comments of his episode and encourage him.
Yeah.
He told me his goal was to do more views than my dad. He wants YouTube to watch number 20 Andy more than number 18 dad. So pump up his views and hit him with comments and say, do this for us. And then I'll let him know what's going on, and we'll see if we can't help guide him. Mm-hmm. So last one here.
All right. Do you think that Dima will actually buy Bitcoin with her $50?
Dima Nakzima. I do not.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do not.
I don't either.
She was real non-committal in that moment where she almost didn't even want to choose between cash and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because which could bode well.
Yeah.
That could actually mean that she was like, maybe Bitcoin is worth something, but I just don't know enough yet. Can I come back to you guys later? And we're like, no, you got to choose right now. Like
Mhm.
we're not, we taping shows, girl.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your answer? Cash or Bitcoin. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
So she ended up choosing the cash with the promise to watch our show some more and then maybe buy some Bitcoin.
Now,
As a mother of a couple of kids, that $50 is going to fly right out of her Venmo or PayPal or Zelle. I think we did Zelle for her.
Yeah, we did.
It's going to fly right out.
Yeah.
Starbucks is going to take it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Ugh.
You know? And that's the shame.
Yeah.
Because if she had taken 50 to 60,000 sats, I guarantee
It would have sat.
it would have sat there. Sit with your sats.
Sit with your sats. Sit with your sats. I know. I know.
You're all set. Sit with your sats.
I wish I had enough Bitcoin to just give everybody enough, just give everybody a little bit just to get them rolling. But you know what? I have enough. We have enough to give people $50 worth twice a day.
Yeah.
Until forever. I mean,
and we have enough to give our subscribers like $850 worth once we hit 999 plus one. So we don't have enough to give to everyone just yet, but we are handing out as much as we can.
A lot.
I don't know if any other podcast that ends with 50 to 60,000 sats
for anybody, for every guest. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I love it.
Followed by 1 million sats
for 1,000 followers, subscribers. Should we hit them with the what happens after that?
Nope.
All right, we'll keep that
one
locked
thing
down.
at a time.
Okay.
Everybody stay focused. 999 plus one. Tell your friends, tell your family. Okay, let them know that we're giving away 1 million de Satoshi. And even if they're like not into it, get them in here and maybe we'll start populating their feed a little bit more. They'll learn a little bit more Bitcoin and then they'll get pumped because they'll know what we're actually doing when we're saying we're going to offer you 1 million sats.
Yeah.
So that was number 20, Andy, number 21, Dima, number 22, Renee. Businessman, influencer, artist. We're talking to everyone about Bitcoin.
Yes.
Man, woman, neither. Young, old, in between. We've had a Mongolian. We've had a French man. We've had a dude from Honduras. We've had Americans. We've had Canadians.
We had an Australian who's moving to Mexico.
Oh, my God. The dude was nuts. We had a Kiwi. Lucola's a Kiwi.
Yep.
Right? So we're talking to all types,
everybody,
all races, all nationalities, all genders, all ages. Dude, if there were an alien on planet Earth, we would talk to that dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. In fact, if we found out about it, we would aggressively pursue that person because we want the diversity. We want as much diversity as we can get.
Yeah.
On this show.
Right. We do. We want to talk to everybody one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So thanks so much for listening to this episode of Sat Chats Rehash. Do not be subscriber number 1001. Remember, Sat Chats Rehash is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. See you on the next one, Satillionaires.